दोस्तों स्वागत है आप सभी का हमारे YouTube चैनल मैथमेटिकल पाठशाला में। अभी तक हम लोगों ने स्प्लिटिंग फील्ड पढ़ लिया है, अलजेब्राइक एक्सटेंशन पढ़ा और अलजेब्राइक क्लोजर एंड अलजेब्राइकली क्लोज फील्ड के बारे में कुछ चीज़ें पढ़ी थी। आज के इस लेक्चर में हम लोग स्टार्ट करेंगे सेपरेबल एंड इनसेपरेबल एक्सटेंशन। It is not possible that in this lecture I am going to give you the definition of separable extension, but we will see some basic concept. Then in the next lecture I will give you the exact definition of separable extension, and I will talk little about the finite fields, and after the next lecture we will move into Galois theory or Galois theory. Suppose you have a polynomial px, then do you know the meaning of when we say it has a multiple root or it has a simple root? Suppose px be a member in a fx where f is some field, maybe finite, maybe infinite, we don't bother about this. I can always write this px as, say, an x minus alpha 1 to the power n1, x minus alpha 2 to the power n2, up to x minus alpha k to the power nk, and this I can write inside the splitting field for p, because it is not necessary that I can always factorize into f, but into some splitting field I can do this. So this is in splitting field of this px polynomial, where each ni is bigger than or equal to 1 and alpha is our distinct. So this I can write, because my polynomial need not to be monic, so I can take an common out and I can write in this manner. We say px has a multiple root alpha I if ni is strictly bigger than 1. So we say any root, say alpha I is multiple root if it appears more than 1 times in your factorization. That means the power of this factorization is bigger than 1, and this ni is called multiplicity of the root alpha I. We say alpha I is a simple root of px if ni value is 1. So if it appears exactly 1 times in your factorization, then it is a simple root, otherwise it is a multiple root, and the multiplicity will be its power which is appearing in factorization. So this is the definition for the simple root and multiple root. Now let me give you the definition for separable polynomial. A polynomial, say px, defined on capital Fx, is said to be separable if it has no multiple root. So we say a polynomial px is said to be separable if it has no multiple root, and these roots we are not seeing inside f. It may be in some bigger field, it should not have any multiple root. If it has a multiple root, then we say the polynomial is inseparable. Otherwise we call it inseparable. Later we will see, when I will give you the definition of separable extension, we will use the element should be algebraic over some separable polynomial. Then we call such an extension will be a separable extension. That means every element should be algebraic over some separable polynomial, or you can say every element is algebraic and is a root of some separable polynomial. So this is the definition of separable polynomial and inseparable polynomial. Let's see some basic example. The simplest example you can think, say x square minus 2, whether it is separable or inseparable. See, whenever you need to check separability and inseparability, you need to know on which structure it is defined. If you are defining over qx, it is separable because it has two roots, square root of minus 2 and negative of square root of 2. Square root of 2 and square root, negative of square root of 2. So it is separable. If I see over z2x filled with two elements, so what can you say about this polynomial? This polynomial is not separable. This is not separable because this polynomial becomes x square, because 2 means 0 in z2, because if you divide 2 with 2 you will have remainder 0. So this x square, this has multiple roots 0 and 0, so this is inseparable. What can you say about this x to the power p power n minus x when I am defining over a field with p elements, whether it is separable or inseparable? See, this is a very nice example I have written here. Later when I will be defining, when I will be giving you the properties of finite fields, I will tell you, suppose you are having a field with p power n elements, then every element must be a root of this polynomial. So this is an spatial polynomial. So what can you say about whether this polynomial is separable or not? You can write in this manner, say x to the p power n minus 1 minus 1. So you see, in general, to check whether it has a multiple root or not, it is little bit difficult task. Let's see this criteria. Then I will be coming into this again. Let px belongs to fx. Px is separable if and only if GCD of px and p dash x is 1. Where p dash x denotes the derivative of this. Derivative, the simple derivative you use in your basic calculus part. Dummett and Foote book use this notation dx fx, but this is generally used when you are dealing with the function with multivariable, then it is used. But no problem, you can use this notation or you can use this notation, both are a standard one, but this is I will adopt. So I am saying this px, where px is separable if and only if GCD of p and p prime is 1. Or in other words, you can write this one, px is inseparable if and only if, okay, let me change this statement. Px is separable if and only if px and p prime x has a common root. Okay, sorry for the wrong. P is separable if and only if p and p prime has a common root, that means it should be inseparable. This is for inseparable. Or in other words, you can write px is separable if and only if GCD of P and P prime is 1. This notation I am using for the GCD. You can write GCD of P and P prime, but I will use this P and P prime are relatively prime. So let's prove. Either you prove this or you prove this, both are equivalent statement, because this is just a negation of this one. So suppose first let us prove this part, then this will be proved automatically. Suppose P is inseparable. If Px is inseparable, that means it has some multiple root. So let's say alpha is a multiple root. So I can say Px, say x minus alpha square some polynomial gx. I can have this factorization, and I am not saying this is inside capital F. It may be inside over the splitting field, but I am able to write this over splitting field. That means it has a multiple root with multiplicity at least 2. So I am using this 2. If you find the derivative of this, your derivative will be 2x minus alpha gx plus x minus alpha square gx. You can verify easily P prime at alpha is 0, because when you put alpha, this part will be 0 and this part will be 0. So this P prime alpha is 0. That means this P and P prime has a common root. So this alpha is a root of P as well as of P prime. So one way is easy. That means if P is inseparable, then P and P prime has a common root. Let's see the other way around. This is one way. Suppose P and P prime has a common root, and I want to prove that P is inseparable. Let P and P prime has a common root. Say alpha is a common root. So we will have P at alpha 0 and P prime at alpha is 0. I want to prove this P is inseparable. Clearly I can assume my Px is of this format. Say x minus alpha sum fx, because alpha is a root of P and P prime also. So if this is a root, take P prime x, it will be x minus alpha f prime x plus fx. I will have this. Now P prime alpha is also 0. So if you put x to be alpha, you will get f alpha to be 0. So if f alpha is 0, that means alpha is a root of f. That means there is a factor of x minus alpha. That means this P contains a multiple root. The alpha is a multiple root. So this implies P of x is of this format: x minus alpha square sum f1x. That means this alpha is a multiple or root of P. Now if you want to prove this statement, Px is separable if and only if P and P prime have GCD 1. This is again very easy, because if P is separable, that means it does not have any multiple root, and you want to prove GCD of P and P prime is 1. So if it does not have any multiple root, and suppose if your GCD is not 1, GCD is some other number, and this one I am writing up to constant. So if GCD is not a constant one, then it will have some common factor. But if you have a common factor, that means you are having a common root. That is the meaning of this GCD. Okay, let me write one extra word for you to be more comfortable. GCD of P and P prime is constant. It will be more good. So if you want to prove this statement, I am just showing this implies this and this implies this. That will be easy exercise for you. So this part, if Px is separable, that means it does not have any multiple root. If GCD of P and P prime is not a constant one. So this implies P and P prime contain a common factor. If they contain common factor, then they must contain a common root. So if they contain common root, that means this P will be inseparable. So this will imply P is inseparable, which is a contradiction. Other way around is again easy. If GCD is 1, that means they does not have any common factor. So you have to prove this P is separable. You can use by contradiction also. So this part I am leaving it to you. If you understand this, then it is easy to check whether a polynomial is separable or not. Suppose you want to check for this polynomial, x to the power p power n minus x over the field with p elements. So if you see the derivative of this, let me call it px. If you see p prime x, you will have p power n x to the power p to the power n minus 1 minus 1, but it is minus 1 because this p power n is a multiple of p, and p divides this p power n. So with a within a field with characteristic p, this part will be 0. So you will have minus 1, and minus 1 is non-zero element in Fp. So p prime is never 0. That means it cannot have a common root. So this implies this x to the power p power n minus x is always separable. Over Fp I am talking about. Now if you understand this part, can you tell me this? X to the power n minus 1 over f, case 1, characteristic of f is 0, and case 2, characteristic of a characteristic of f divides n. So what can you say about these two cases? There is another case, characteristic of f does not divide n. Okay, let me write this case also. See, if characteristic of f is 0, then you have seen this is the roots of this equation forms nth roots of unity, and those all are distinct, that we have already seen, because that forms a group, and in a group every element is distinct. So if characteristic of f is 0, then it has n distinct root, that is 1 zeta n square, zeta n cube up to zeta n to the power n minus 1. So it has distinct roots, यानी कोई भी root आपका multiple root नहीं है. So it is separable for this case. What can you say if characteristic of f divides n? See, if your px is x to the power n minus 1 and p prime x will be n times x to the power n minus 1, and this p prime is always 0 if characteristic of f divides n, because n is a multiple of your characteristic. So this part will be 0 always. That means every root is a multiple root. Whichever root you choose, the root is multiple. So in this sense, it is always inseparable extension. Oh, sorry, inseparable polynomial. There is another case when characteristic of f does not divide n. If it does not divide n, then this part is always non-zero. This p prime is always non-zero because it is 0. Either characteristic of f divides n or x is 0. But if you choose x to be 0, x is 0 is not a root of this polynomial. So 0 is not a common root. 0 is a root of derivative but not of actual polynomial. So if characteristic of f does not divide n, it is separable. So these are some basic examples related to separable polynomial. let's see some basic properties. Any irreducible polynomial. See, in this section, the characteristic word play an important role. So you keep a interest on characteristic. Any irreducible polynomial px over a field fx, say characteristic of f is 0, is separable. Any irreducible polynomial px over fx where characteristic of f is 0 is always a separable polynomial. See, the proof is one line proof, because if you see this px is irreducible, what are the factors of this p? Factors of p can be either 1 or f. Okay, not this. What are the factors of p? That can be either 1 or px itself. No other factor will be there. See, degree of p is say n. You can assume, without loss of generality, you can assume that degree of p is say n. So factors of p is either a constant polynomial or a degree n polynomial, because it is irreducible polynomial. If you see p prime x, this is, or say degree of p prime x, it will be exactly n minus 1. So what can be the common factors? You can observe this is a n degree polynomial which is irreducible. This is n minus 1 degree polynomial. We do not know whether it is reducible or not, but it cannot have a common factor other than a constant term, because it is n degree, this is n minus 1 degree. That means if you take the GCD of p and p prime, you will get some constant at maximum, because this one I am treating as a constant. The polynomial, if you multiply with some constant, your reducibility criteria will not be changed, because the definition I have given to you for the reducibility criteria is different. You do not read the book, Galilean book. In that book, the definition is different. So I must say, if you are an MSc student and preparing for NET or GATE examination and other higher examination, do not read the Galilean book, because the definitions they have given, they are different. So there is a chance अगर आप एग्जामिनेशन में क्वेश्चन लगा के आ रहे हो एंड आपके एग्जाम वाले बुक फॉलो कर रहे हैं, डमिटेंट फूट है या कोई हायर बुक, और आप पढ़ के जा रहे हो गैलियन बुक, तो अगर आपका क्वेश्चन गलत हुआ तो आप क्लेम भी नहीं कर सकते उनको. वेट फॉर अ वाइल. So factors of p you can write either it is some constant, in place of 1 you can write. So this will imply they will have a common factor, say c. So that means this p is a separable polynomial. But what is the problem when I am dealing with the characteristic of p field? Let's observe the situation first, then I will come to the case when you are choosing irreducible polynomial over a characteristic p field. Then what will be your difference, and what is the problem actually? Suppose px is irreducible and it is defined on fx where characteristic of f is say p. Then if you find p prime x, then there is a chance your p prime x is actually becomes completely 0. There is a chance, because suppose if you are having p prime x to the power pm, then it is always going to be 0. So such terms will be 0 always. So when your p prime is identically 0, then your all roots become multiple roots. So this is the main problem. That is why we work with the characteristic of f is 0. Then I can say every irreducible polynomial becomes separable. But if you are dealing with the characteristic p polynomial, and your derivative is identically 0, then you are having a problem. This can be seen in this manner also. Suppose your polynomial is of this format: a naught plus a1x to the power say p, a2x to the power 2p plus up to anx to the power np. Then you observe your p prime is always identically 0 over this characteristic p field. So in this situation every root is a multiple root, so this polynomial is not separable polynomial. And you can also see in this situation your px is of this format where g is a naught plus a1x plus up to anx power n. So if such a situation occur, you can always write your p as g power x power p, g of x power p, where g is this polynomial. So this is the main problem. Your derivative may vanish completely if you are dealing with the finite characteristic field. But we will answer that very nicely. If you have an irreducible polynomial, we will answer very nicely. What can you say about the separability when you are dealing with the finite characteristic? Now let's observe this property. If characteristic of a field say is P, then for any a comma b belongs to F, a plus b whole power p is same as a power p plus b power p. We are having this property, and the proof is a two-line proof. Suppose I am writing the binomial expansion for this a plus b power p. Here this p must be a prime number, but this expansion is valid for any natural number. So it will be like, say, p choose 0, a power n, a power p plus p choose 1, a power p minus 1 b plus up to p choose I, a power p minus I and b power I plus up to p choose p, b power p. This is the binomial theorem, and you can see this p choose 0 is always 1, so you will have a power p plus p choose 1, a power p minus 1 b plus p choose p is 1, so you will have b power p here. What can you say about these coefficients? The coefficient like this, p choose I, where I is 1 to up to p minus 1, because if I is 0 then p choose 0 is 1, if I is p then p choose p is 1. What can you say about this p choose I? This can be written in this format: p factorial I factorial and p minus I factorial. See, this p factorial will be like p into p minus 1 into p minus 2, and there will be a factor of p minus I also, and there will be a factor of I also, depending whether p minus I is bigger or I is bigger. So if I is bigger, I will come first. If p minus I is bigger, then p minus I will come first. But this I is varying from 1 to up to p minus 1. So this I factorial must be somewhere here in the factor of this p factorial. This p minus I factorial, it must be somewhere here in the factor of p factorial. But this value is never p. This value is never p. You can see, or it will not contain a factor of p. Okay, it may contain, but I mean to say that this p minus factorial is available in this, I factorial is available here. Can I say this thing? This p always divides p factorial and I factorial, p minus I factorial. Can I say this? Yeah, definitely I can say this, because if you expand this, so suppose p into p minus 1, and at some stage you will have p minus I factorial, and before this you will have p minus I plus 1. Say it is I factorial p minus I factorial. You will have situation like this. So you can cancel out this with this, and also here I am assuming my p minus I is bigger than I, or in general it is true, and clearly number of ways of choosing I objects out of p objects is always a natural number. So this is always a natural number, but this I is never a p. So this factor must cancel out with some factor here. So this p will always be there. This first p you cannot cancel out. You can cancel out others, but you cannot cancel this p. So this p always divides this p. If you are not feeling good, take 2 or 3 particular cases, you will get. You choose p to be 5 or I to be something, you will get your answer. So this p always divides this. That means the every coefficient except the first and the last one is a multiple of p, and you are in a characteristic p field. So these all are going to be vanished. So you will have a power p plus b power p. So this is a very nice property. Also, if you have this one, I give you one more nice property. If characteristic of f is p, define a map f phi from f to f taking a to the power p, and I claim that this is injective field homomorphism. Why it is injective? See, field homomorphism is easy, that you can see, because additivity comes from directly this. You can use this. If characteristic of f is p, then phi of a plus b will go to a plus b whole power p, but a plus b whole power p is same as a power p plus b power p. If you lose this property, you cannot say this is a homomorphism. This will not respect additivity. So this is satisfying additivity as well as multiplicativity. Now, how can I say this is injective? If you use kernel, you will not get answer in a easy manner. How many ideals any field can have? It can have at most 2 ideals, either zero ideal or field itself. So if field itself is ideal, then it is a zero map, but this is not a zero map. So kernel of this homomorphism has to be 0, and kernel is 0 if and only if mapping is 1 1. So this mapping is injective field homomorphism. Now once you understand this, let me give you another nice property, but for that you need one more extra restriction. If characteristic of field is p and cardinality of field is finite. So suppose the characteristic is p and this is a finite field. This implies every element of f is a p power of some element. This is again a very nice property, because if characteristic of f is p and cardinality of f is finite, so you are having this mapping phi taking a to a power p, but f is finite and this is an injective map. So every 1 1 map from finite side to finite side becomes a surjection. Every 1 1 map from same finite side to same finite side becomes surjective map. If it is surjective, that means every element in capital F has a pre-image in capital F. So let's say you are choosing B element in F. So it must this implies there must exist some element A such that phi of A बराबर B, but phi of A is बराबर A power P. So B बराबर A power P. So every element in F can be written as a P power of some other element, so that you can see. So this is a very nice property which we have in finite fields with the characteristic P, and this map is called, in general this is called Frobenius endomorphism. Frobenius endomorphism. बट आप अभी जिस लेवल पे हो वहाँ पर आपको इनके नेमिंग से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. ये नेमिंग वगैरह यूज़ होती है जब आप किसी सेमिनार वगैरह में दे रहे हो या कोई वेबिनार दे रहे हो, तब यूज़ होती है. तो अभी आपके लिए ये इतना खास नहीं है. जब आप अच्छी तरीके से सेमिनार वगैरह दोगे तो वहाँ पर आप पहले से अपनी पीपीटी वगैरह बना के जाओगे, तो वहाँ पर आप डायरेक्टली यूज़ करते हो दिस इज़ अ फ्रोबिनियस एंडोमॉर्फिज्म, दिस इज़ एन इवैल्यूएशन मैप एंड सच थिंग. सो दे लुक लिटिल स्टैंडर्ड. बट अभी आपको कोई नेम वेम याद नहीं है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम वाली बात नहीं है.